Hi, it's myself, Daisy JD, with Are You With The DJ, and today I've got a very special guest and a very close friend, Nisha. Just say hi to everyone.
Hi, I'm a bit nervous to be here.
Yeah, she's a little bit nervous, I'm a little bit out of it, but I feel like we're going to have a good chit chat because that's what we do in the daily anyway, and today you can
we're just doing it on camera now.
But yeah, how long have we known each other then?
To be fair, kind of strange because do you remember we once, before uni even started?
We spoke on socials when we were like 17.
Yeah, because we were both meant to start uni on the same course together. That didn't happen.
And we both taken a gap
I deferred again.
And then I ended up dropping out.
So you were then just like this person who I followed on social media, and then started doing music stuff, and then
I think
found
I
each
first
other
met
again.
you in Lab 11 smoking area.
I
feel like
I don't think I've been there since.
But I think that's like, this was probably about 3-4 years ago now. So yeah, I think we share the love of music, and I think especially when you can do some courses which are a bit more academic, you kind of tend to struggle to find people, I guess, who have like the same interests, especially when it's like music and the underground music scene.
Yeah, definitely when I first joined uni, I was like dragging different housemates out to raves who I think half the time were so scared some of them liked it and came again, and so that first year I was really looking for people to share that sort of love for music, and then we did find each other.
I definitely think like when you go to uni it's all about finding your feet, especially because a lot of people hadn't gone out because of COVID. People didn't really know if they were like, if they even enjoyed going out, if they wanted to go to like pubs, clubs, a rave, like what their kind of bars. I think it's all kind of like finding your feet, and especially even if like I'd gone out before uni, but I hadn't really I'd come to like Birmingham once, I'd gone to Liverpool once. I didn't really understand big cities, but it takes a little while to find your feet. I feel like you have to go through like the run of the mill of everywhere.
I once went to Rosie's for my friend's 18th before uni.
Oh, okay.
Never been back, but
yeah, I feel like you just have to do Broad Street and you have to do like all of that when you're in first year. It's kind of just part of it, and I think it's like it's a good way to meet people. Like I think if you often just go straight to like rave and stuff, you won't meet a lot of people your age and students. So I definitely think you just kind of sometimes have to dive into it, but I definitely think it can definitely be difficult. But I definitely taken a lot of people, I'd say, to electronic music events who necessarily like it wasn't their thing, and they've definitely got more into it or found different aspects of it they enjoy. Like one of my friends, like a lot of electronic music's not maybe necessarily her genre, but she really enjoys like the social environment of it and how open and friendly everyone is, and like the community within it, which I think is like a really nice aspect that you can find that's maybe like not even necessarily the music. I think there's a lot like more of a community than necessarily at like a lot of clubs,
especially in Brum. Like it's a big city, but then I feel like you're seeing the same faces, and you just sort of give each other a smile, even if you have no idea who you are. You're just like, oh, you were also enjoying this last week or whatever, which is nice.
Yeah, it becomes familiar. I think that's the thing. Birmingham's it's like a big town, I feel like, I see a lot of it, especially when you're around Digbeth and areas like that and Jewelry Court, I see the same phases time and time again, and it gets familiar, but it's kind of comforting. I don't know, I feel like it's very different to other cities where it feels like when I go to like London, it's overwhelming. Like I feel like you don't bump into people, but I don't know, I feel like people, to be fair, even when I've been in London, I've been on like Oxford Street and stuff and bumped into people from Birmingham, and I'm like, it's just a world but small. But I feel like that's what it's like especially when you go out and stuff in new cities, you find big, like similar commute, because you go out to the same spaces the same as you would here.
Yeah, and people might know of people or have like done, I don't know, cards with people.
Yeah. But should we talk a little bit about how I feel like we became like closer friends through DJ Society?
Definitely.
I feel like for sure.
And also Asha, you used to tell Asha, I'm stealing your girlfriend.
Yeah, I was like, she's coming with me, it's our time to hang out. But I think, for sure. So we started it and I was secretary. Did you have a role in it this year, the first year of?
No, so that's how I also met Asha, was at one of the first like open decks when they did them in Digbeth, and because obviously he created the society with you and Joel, right? In that very first year.
It was
really
just like us really small running it.
No, so I just attended, but also helped out by the end.
And then the second year it was women, like we started with the Women's Day.
Yeah, and then I still technically wasn't committee.
But you just...
I was just there.
Yeah, sometimes we just need a few more like women getting stuff done. All love to the boys though. But yeah, should we speak a little bit about kind of how the Women's Day came about?
Yeah, so I mean, I think credit to you mostly. You're quite an ideas person, and I was just like, yeah, let's go.
I remember exactly.
The very first one, we planned it all around the lead up to Christmas, but then we were cramming in planning.
It's stressful. I feel like that was one of the first proper, like, bigger things that I'd done in terms of events, and like the same for you probably. And I was stressed. It was stressful.
It was also 2 events in one day.
Yeah.
Like, it was the whole day.
And both of us DJing. I was like, too much. It was
That was
overload.
the first time I ever played like in a club setting. So I was so nervous for that. Also hosting like
a panel.
All this stuff.
It was a whole lot of emotion.
Really good.
Yeah, I think it was so good. I think we had great gas. Like we had Sigil's own.
Yeah.
Who else do we have? We had Shani, Pepper. It was so good. Everyone gave such good like advice, and I think the feedback was really positive as well. And I think it was a really good opportunity as well to have more people from the community come to an event.
Yeah, it wasn't just DJ Society. We had like people from, I guess, the scene coming as well. Like Shay was there. Like.
It was really good, and I think it was like also it was a good opportunity to like bring collaboration between like students and the wider community, because I definitely think that's something that can be lost and it can be difficult. I don't know why in this city it can be more difficult. I feel like hopefully it's starting to get better. I think you know what? Compared to when I started uni, yeah, it's a lot better. It's a lot better, kind of the like integration. But I think, yeah, for sure, in terms of that. And then we have the evening event, which actually sold out, which is crazy.
Yeah, and we could have gone for a bigger venue, but we were so nervous. We were like, no.
I don't know if it's
and then we had 30 people on the waiting list.
Yeah.
But it was a really good party.
It was really good. I was so tired. And I had friends as well staying with me, so it was just like I had 20,000 things to organise, and like I couldn't.
Yeah, me too. I was hosting all my friends from Sheffield, which was so nice because they were all just so like supportive.
But it's a lot. I would just say, but do it like honestly, run events, and I think the first one, like honestly, as much as you can plan it, you'll be stressed about tickets, all of that. But especially when you're doing things like for the right reasons, whatever like cause it's for. And like whatever reason that motivates you to put on an event, at the end of it, it's really rewarding, and you'll wake up the next day probably shattered, but also like really proud of yourself, and you'll want to continue to do that work.
Yeah, I remember feeling so gassed after, and also just I think before I had maybe imposter syndrome, even taking up space, like mixing and that, and then I did my first set into a crowd, but also that we'd hosted it and we had planned it, and everyone who performed had loads of fun, like Pepper and just Jane. Like Pepper was just with the crowd, like, and did a nice like cheers for us at the end.
Yeah,
which was
they
really
know how
affirming.
to make a dance floor move. Honestly, no, it was a really good event. Should we, talking about like you kind of mixing? Should we start off with like the first track and artist? So Nisha's put in some music to show you guys from female members of the LGBTQ community, producers. So do you wanna show the first track?
I definitely put in more than just 3.
Well, we can see where it goes.
On the eve. Also, in moving house, I lost my playlist. I lost my USB, so I had to put it on 2.
I thought you had 4.
Yeah, and I don't know where any of them are.
That's crazy.
But I've unpacked. I don't understand where they are.
They're missing, if anyone sees them. They're probably still in Peru.
No, I lost them before Peru.
Oh, okay.
I've just not had time to sort this out. Okay, maybe we'll start with this song, because I think this was the song that I opened my set for that event.
Oh, so the first ever song you played?
So it feels
full circle.
Yeah.
Okay.
How am I doing?
Take 2. Okay. We'll play it.
The beginning. It has a long intro.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about the song, the producer, the tune?
So that was Tilimir by Yush on their own label, Pressure Dome. And Yush is Bristol based. It's spelled like Yush with then 2 H's on the end. And I think my friend put me onto this, or maybe even this album specifically. And I think it was one of like the first albums I even brought on Bandcamp. And yeah, just a lot of their other stuff can be like chugs, but like heavy chugs. Like I feel like I quite like when it's slow, but you can really like deep dub. Not that I mix that, but maybe I want to invest in more chugs. I'm quite enjoying that at the minute too, like more ambient and minimal.
I feel like you're exploring at the moment for sure. Like every time we speak, I feel like you're like, try a little bit of this.
Yeah, even after your messy event, I was like, God, I'm so inspired. You know, when you had like Amelia and everyone, I was like, maybe I'm gonna play some dubstep.
No, honestly, I feel like when I go to events, it makes me realise like, oh, okay, like hear different sounds and also think about how I can incorporate the sounds into my sets, or not even the sounds, like maybe like the mixing style or like sampling and things like that in more terms of a production aspect. But I definitely think like, I don't know, I love when I come away from an event and the next day I wake up and I'm like, I'm ready to get on my laptop, I'm ready to get on my decks and start doing some music.
I don't know if I was just so inspired because at that event I was sober all night, so that was a very
really
like,
deep rooted in them.
Not even had like 1 pint, nothing. Like I was just locked in.
I saw the did you see on Ringo Story the Beatrice M set with dubs, it was like melodic dubstep?
Yeah,
I was like, I need that for my soul. I think it would calm me. Sometimes I just need dubstep to calm me because I feel like it's just like, I don't know, some of it just like, it brings me right back, like grounds me.
At a festival last year, I don't even know how, but there was like in the daytime it was quite empty and there was this ambient, quite dubby set and it was on this huge sound system and there was like this settee armchair and I just like fell asleep, but I don't know, it wasn't like I was fully asleep, I was just like in the day and my friends were like, how are you asleep? There's like this music coming at you, but honestly it was most like, I think I was just like locked into like the melodic ambient, even though it was so heavy.
I feel
like
like
best nap ever maybe.
Yeah, like when I like been to Boomtown before, like a first day, it's a lot of like dub reggae. I feel like that sort of music, it just like makes me relax, makes me get into the groove of it, because sometimes I feel like if you go to a festival, you can be thrown into at the deep end sometimes, and I don't want that when you're camping. It's nice for almost just like you do when you go to an event, the music also kind of builds up a bit throughout the days, because it's like you don't want to walk in somewhere and immediately it's like 170 BPM like bangers, because like personally I can find it a bit overwhelming, especially at somewhere where I've literally just struggled to put my tent up, I've lost 5 pegs, I have to go ask the neighbour for a hammer. Like I just want to be able to chill and enjoy it for a little bit.
I one day would love to see you camping.
I've camped at Boomtown twice. I was gonna camp this summer, I didn't, but like I don't think I'd camp for fun if it wasn't for a festival. But I don't mind camping. I'm actually like, I feel like I get on with things. Like I feel like I'm pretty good at just getting on with it, like when I need to. And if it's worth it, like Boomtown, I always like felt it was worth it to do that. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like next year I definitely want to go back to Boomtown because I do miss it. And I feel like, yeah, I need to go. I just like the fun of it. And then I also want to do Outlook now. I'm so jealous. I'm holding it down in Birmingham, everyone. Like, what's it, Croatia?
Someone's got to stay behind.
Someone's got to stay behind and hold it up. But no, everyone looks like they're having too much fun. Honestly, Scala's set, I literally saw it from like 20 different angles from people. I was like, I feel like my whole Instagram is there. I was like, is there space for anyone else? But it looks so good. Like, I feel like, yeah, it looks insane. Like, Cola's smashing it as well. So, yeah, definitely like on my feet. Because I feel like it's a holiday and a festival in one. So it kind of makes sense.
I think I'm really backing a festival abroad next year. Just need to find the right one. And it's a bit more you need to plan a bit more, I feel. You can't just drive there, you know?
Yeah, I saw people trying to drive to Croatia. I was like, that's actually crazy. I was like, fair play. I can't drive, so I actually don't know could you do a drive for like 20 hours?
I'd need to also have like a van, and then I'd happily be like
stop halfway,
sleeping along the way.
Okay,
like I'd actually love that.
But you can't safely do it otherwise, can you?
But maybe a closer one, like Netherlands, you can get the ferry across. Or my friend just went to Portugal for a festival.
You're going to Houghton this year, you?
Yeah.
You talk about 2
weeks.
How is it? Because I've never been, because when I was, before it used to clash with Boomtown, and also it's like,
the first year it's not. Which
which is interesting. But also I feel like the crowds and like the music's quite, like I feel like the music attracts different crowds, but how would you find it? Like, can you sum it up?
I do really love it. I feel like after Houghton though, everyone's posting a bit like really cringe, like, oh, Houghton changed my life. But to be fair, it is just always
you
like...
find yourself in Houghton.
Amazing like music, and I think the same as we were saying, is in the day there's so much like ambient stuff. So it just, I don't know, it just revives you again.
Yeah, I feel like there's different types of festivals. Some can leave you and you need to rest for 2 weeks, you're ill, like you're eating chicken soup. And then some you can come out of, and I think like, it's with the healing experience, it like resets your summer again and revives.
I think it's like the perfect size too. It's not too big. It's all based around a lake, and all their like lighting and decor is very minimalistic. Like they'll just shine lights at the nature.
Oh, okay.
So it's not like huge. I guess Boomtown is amazing, and they have huge like...
They're totally different festivals.
Yeah, and they have huge art displays and like performers. It's not like that. It's very...
Just
the music is like the main thing, but then the lights and displays are really cool, but just enhancing the nature more.
Tomorrowland, have you seen like the videos from the setups are crazy, and I started seeing this whole thing about it, and how like Tomorrowland, the visuals are done in this software which was used in video games, and then it basically runs like a video game, and how reactive it is, and like all of this, because it literally has like fire shooting out stuff, water. Is it like I saw some, I don't know if it was I saw something, and it like moves, and it's like eyes blink. It might have been a dragon. I was like, this is crazy. I was like, it looks insane. I'm kind of just intrigued about it. I don't know, you know what this year I was hearing music from, I was like, yeah, you know, I could get down with this. I feel like people are like, I don't know, I feel like I want to go once just for the experience of it all. But also, like, I think it's like crazy expensive, and I think I don't know if it's true, don't quote me, but I feel like you have to do a lottery for tickets.
I have no idea.
I think it's like a little
bit
like
as big as, I guess,
it looks big, but it's not. No, I think you can camp. I don't know if you can camp. I don't know. I need to find out, but we will see. Because you can camp at a lot of festivals. Like you can camp at Coachella. I don't think you could. But I couldn't hack that. It's too dusty. Like, I think my lungs would not be doing good. But should we speak a little about what you were doing kind of before the summer, before festival season, and like what you've been doing with your degree? Because like I speak a lot about like, I guess like women in music, but you did your masters in like women's healthcare. Like what exactly was it?
Yeah, so I studied medicine, and then this year I had a year like break from clinical medicine, like placement, to do a master's in women's health, and I actually loved it. I loved the research side, also obviously trying to big up women, but also seeing, I guess, all the holes in the research. Like, I mean, it's the same for, I guess, every aspect, like women left behind, you know. A lot of medicine's based off of like male bodies, things like this. I mean, we spoke loads about like, I don't know, endometriosis, stuff like that, and like how just backwards it is, like it's not research. So I felt it was important, and I wanted to, I guess, give more to that, more than I do in just a normal medicine course. And it was also a nice chance to like not have a break. I'm not saying masters was a break, but definitely a different sort of uni experience. Like I could work in my own time, stuff like that, do more music things. Like I was vice pres with you, being pres for DJ Sock, which I would not have had time to do in normal medicine. And then my research project, it was pretty heavy. It was on FGM, but it was, you know, really good. And I'm actually doing a poster on our like outcomes in London in October.
That's
presenting
so fun. Can I come, or do I have to like get a spenny ticket?
I think it's spenny, which is crazy.
This is what I forget. Like sometimes I want to go to these like research conferences and stuff for different things, and it's like £600, and I'm like, a girl just wants to learn, but it's being paywall. But I'm excited. I need to read it, to be fair. I think it's a heavy topic, but also something which was like needs to, like, it's one of those topics that needs to be looked at.
My mum read it and cried.
Yeah, I will read it. I think it's a really important like thing that needs to be researched, like women's health in general, and that specifically, and like ensuring like the support's there and also the healthcare's there. And I think like the like as well as like the physical aspects, also the psychological aspects. But obviously women's healthcare like is, yeah, like especially like so many things. and also like black women's healthcare in like especially in maternity, like the research isn't there, and it's like universities and things like that, medical schools, they don't always how do I put it, they don't always teach you how different things are applicable to different people, and it's kind of this one mold fits all, which most of the time is based around like a white man, and it isn't how it, like, it's case by case and different for different individuals.
Yeah, it's something crazy, like women are more likely to experience pain and not receive the medication, and then on top of that, black women more likely to be, basically, if they are saying they're in pain, less likely to be believed. And they've done so much studies on like just the disparity, and then it's like, where does that come from? Is that coming from the clinicians? Is that coming from what we're taught? I don't know.
Is it coming from research? Lack of research? Yeah, I definitely think like obviously for like women's rights and things, we're better than like where we were, of course. So like 100 years ago, there's still so much room and so many conversations that need to be had within different areas of our lives, and I definitely think healthcare is one of the things which like hasn't caught up, and it isn't, like, especially in terms of diagnosis, the amount of people I know who are waiting for diagnoses and things like that for like reproductive health, and it's just not there. But I think we'll see. But you're doing the right research, you're doing the right work, and I'm really proud of you. When you told me you're doing that, I was like, that's really interesting. Do you think that's sort of what you'd want to go into? Like, when you finish your degree, are you still weighing up your options?
I'm definitely still weighing up my options, and I feel like I've been getting this question a lot, like, oh, so is that the specialty you want to do? I definitely want to do maybe some sort of global health, women's health, but I don't think I want to be an obstetrician.
But would you do more research after university?
Yeah, I'd like to do, like, my supervisor did like half research, half clinical, and I was like, that seems like such a nice
balance.
Yeah,
I know some people who are like in the music scene and stuff, and they do like more research and stuff, and they take like time to do that, because I think it can give you a bit more balance, and it also keeps you like educated. I was literally thinking on the way here though, I was like, oh, like I need to keep reading, because now I finished uni, I'm like, I want to be reading academic articles and things like that, but also I don't know if I have graduate access to it, but I want to be able to like read stuff, because I feel like I learned so much, especially in terms of like my final term, because I was doing things I really was like passionate about, like this continued learning, and I think it's like really important. I think especially like because of what you do, there will always be continued learning, which I think is a great part of it, and one of the reasons why I originally like intended on doing medicine. Obviously didn't stick at it, but
I think maybe though now, because you're not doing studying, like sometimes the last thing I want to do is then read outside of what I have to read, and like I just run out of space and that sort of energy. So then maybe now, because you're not being like forced to do certain stuff, you have the space to read exactly what you want.
For sure, I definitely think it's important to like keep reading, keep yourself educated, understand different perspectives on things, because like I feel like it's very easy, like you live in your own world and you can't always see perspectives outside of that, and perspectives outside of the people around you, so it's really important to kind of like read, and I feel like things like that. Do you want to give us another song?
Yes, of course.
Okay, we were having fun with that. Do you want to talk a little bit about it again?
Yeah, so that was EMP, or I don't know if you meant to say EMP, surely it's EMP, by Sister Zoe. Sister Zoe is from Kansas, so I feel like most of my artists are always like Bristol based, or...
A lot of Bristol on your playlist.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of like Bristol techno, Bristol electro, but Sister Zoe definitely plays a lot of like UK based, but it's from America. But it says they're very like shaped by, I think, like Detroit techno, stuff like that. That one was a bit maybe more heavy, like electro stuff, but I've also got some by them that's like slower, more like acidy bass line. And they run a queer and trans like events group called Untuck. And yeah, are America based, so...
What, in Kansas again, even?
I think they're potentially living in New York.
I'm intrigued. I'm
sure, but I'd like to see them if they come to the UK. I think they have been to the UK, but
you need to get tickets next time. Honestly, I feel like more and more I'm tapping into a lot of artists from America who I really want to see perform, and yeah, hopefully I see some of them too. Often, like, I don't even like clock until like I like start looking at their like dates, like their dates and stuff, and I'm like, oh, okay. But yeah, I definitely think like there's quite a few artists that I'm like, I want to see, maybe bring here, I don't know.
Yeah, well, you can bring them. I feel like they're often in London though, and then I'm like, I just can't afford to be always going to London
can
for an event.
Can DJs who like come on like international tours come to Birmingham, please? Because I always feel like
people skip Birmingham.
A lot of Glasgow and a lot of London, and I think like London, like, you have it all anyway. Give some to us, please. But yeah, should we talk a little bit about how you kind of got into electronic music and the rave scene and like where it kind of all started?
Yeah, I actually, like, I was thinking about this earlier, because I guess this question would be coming, and I feel like when I was in school, I'd consume it without even realising I was consuming it.
Same with me.
And I wasn't like then looking out for it or like finding it myself online. It was just like around me a bit. So like through friends, potentially even people I dated into it. And then also my family, like my mum's quite deaf, so she loves anything that's then like bassier, because she like feels it more. Like if songs got lyrics, she'll sing completely the wrong lyrics, which I love. But yeah, anything that's more like heavier bass line. If I do a mix and send it to her, I just know that she's like locked in with her headphones on, like doing the garden or like walking the dog.
Cute.
And she, yeah, is probably the person listening to it the most. Thanks, Mum. But then also my dad, he lives on like a traveller site, so it's a lot of people there are like from the very free party scene, so like the 90s. I mean, I think my dad used to get very on it from some of his stories. So yeah, and like in his house, it's not even a big house, but he has like the tops of a sound system somehow as his like home speaker, you know, like you can just tell that he's just inherited things. The speakers in my room are his from the 70s. They're like,
I love that. You have great
pioneer vintage
speakers.
speakers. They definitely need maybe some tweaking. I think my friends was like, they need new tweeters. But they look good, but they are just quite chunky. I just moved house and I was really assessing
I
how
love them.
I can lay
I
them
think
out.
they look beautiful as well. Like,
Yeah,
I think
like
they look
wooden.
way better than like the modern speakers we have.
Yeah, they've got like, you can put like this crisscross mesh thing over as well, but I play it without because I like to see, like on this speaker, I like to see the like,
Bass
tweeter and the
moving,
bass
yeah.
bit, and you can see the bass moving. Yeah, so he definitely, and his friends and people around him when I'd go and stay, he lives in Exeter, it would be a lot of, I'd say, more jungle. In Exeter, we'd often, if I went to visit, we'd go for like the day to like some like reggae scat outside, you know, like, at a random pub, like in the garden. And then my friends, probably most of all, a lot of them being boys, were always like mixing and would all just sit in their room. And even then, like it felt like that's something they do, and they're guys. Not that they ever, I think, were gatekeeping it. It just, they were doing it. It wasn't, you know, it wasn't me. And then it was them who, one of them said to me once, like they put on parties mostly around Sheffield, but they run a sound system, Bass Freight, who I was with in London this weekend. And yeah, like always went to these things, dancing. I think it was in first year I was complaining like, I can't find the music that I want. I can't find the events that I really like, you know, like more techno electro stuff. I feel like in first year especially there was a lot of more dubstep grime stuff, which now I also love, but at the time
I feel like sometimes it's nice, like you want your own music, but it's also nice sometimes where it isn't, because then you go to new types of electronic music and that's how you like begin, like that's how you kind of fall in love with it.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, they just turned around to me and one of them said, if you can dance to it, you can mix. Like if you can dance to a beat, you can also do it. And they gave me their old 400s. So that was where it started.
I feel like it, like for most people, start for 400s. But
Yeah.
you know what? That's all you need. You don't even need that. You can get, is it like for 200? I saw these really cute. I think it's like Newmark, like decks the other, like a couple weeks ago on TikTok, and they were like literally like probably about that big. And I was like, they're actually so good if you're traveling. You can just like mix wherever you go. I was like, that's super fun.
Yeah, no, although now I feel like I still have the 400s because I'm a student. I can't just be dropping money on decks or just like play on friends. And now I'm really just hate them, I think.
Yeah, I feel
Because you just get used to like playing on this.
I think the only thing is, well, for me, it was always just my laptop. My laptop has no storage. It still has no storage. It crashes all the time. It's really not useful. I need to buy a hard drive. But for me, it was just like that. Like, I feel like the slowness. But honestly, that's all you need. And like,
That is all you need.
That's
It's
all you
more
need.
most
And like
successful.
a lot of people we're teaching, they either just learn at Pirate. This is through DJ, so by the way. But this is like either at Pirate or like they'd only play there, which is like you just go rent it out and like watch YouTube and do that, or also just have like 200s off Facebook, 400s off Facebook, off whatever, and that's literally all you need. And now apparently like there's apps and stuff as well where you can learn. I think like honestly YouTube's your friend. Like for me, YouTube was my friend, but YouTube's my friend now. Like I'm learning production, when I learned to code, honestly it's all out there. Like you can, and I think it's really, and honestly watch YouTube, don't ask AI, just like take the time to actually engage with it. like tutorials. Did you learn through like friends solely? Did you learn through like online?
So my friends are all based in Sheffield, and I guess I knew from just observing and watching, but I just had the decks in my room. I think I Googled like what, and I knew obviously it's just basically count in, press play, bring it in. That was like the start, and just in my room. And then I think just trial and error. Downloaded loads of free downloads off SoundCloud, stuff that I literally probably would not listen to now. Just anything that was free, I downloaded
And just tried.
and just gave it a go. And then my housemate Amalia would just come and backing dance in my bedroom, and so I had the boost, and then joined DJ Society and met friends who could show me more.
Honestly, it's trial and error as well, because honestly, like, my housemates hit me, it tanked, but honestly, yeah, I think and now it's kind of full circle, because now Amalia, like, when just before like she left, was like learning, and we were still in my room, so I feel like for you it must have been full circle.
She sent me a mix the other day, and she was like, by the way, I stole all these songs from you, which also, I was like, that's so cute. I listened to it and I was like, yeah, but it just, I don't know, I feel like those songs were like summed up our friendship. Like,
that's so
really
cute.
Remind each other, because
That's
she'd just
so
be there, like,
sweet.
boogieing in the background.
That's so cute. No, I feel like you definitely have like a lot of community who are interested in like music and things like that. So do you want to talk a bit about like briefly where you were this weekend? Because you've been outside, like you literally were traveling through, and then I literally can barely catch this girl because she's in party season.
Yeah, I
as
think
you
I've
should
been back for 2 weeks. Yeah. So Friday, my friends were doing the sound system for like a mutual friend, their like
What's
friends
their
of
sound
friends
system
party,
called?
Base Freight, Sheffield Base, but they've
Shout
done
out.
events in London, Bristol, Sheffield, Leeds as well. And yeah, they were just like, oh, there's this party in London that like my friends, older brother's friends were putting on. And I was like, I literally can't afford it. Like, I've been away, I can't come. And they were just like, come down, help out, you'll be on crew because you're gonna work for it, and we'll pick you up.
Ideal.
So I was like, okay, I have no reason. And my other friend had a bed I could stay in. So I thought, you know what, I'm going. And it was also just really nice to, I guess you have this with Messi, but like watching them all, they're clearly a group of, the person whose party it was, I don't know before, clearly a group of creatives. They'd done their own like visuals on the projector, which was just really cute. One person had made these really nice, she'd like hand sewed, machine sewed these light lanterns that were then
so
dangling
cute.
down. So it wasn't just, oh, we're gonna
whimsical.
get on and play. It was like they made the
An
space,
effort,
they have
yeah.
their own like
You could
cut
see the
out
curation
of wood,
there.
yeah, which was just, you saw, it was like a labour of love basically. And it was a really interesting venue. The man who owned it literally just lives there. It was in Brixton in an archway, but you entered through his kitchen. And then he
That's
lived
so
up here. There was a cat. He said that cat loves techno, that one loves drum and bass.
That's amazing. I want to go there. Is it like, do they do a lot of events there?
Yeah, I hadn't heard of the venue before. Arch 535 or maybe 353, unsure.
Okay, I'm going to have a store.
And I don't know what other, there was like a mixed mag sign. They had function ones, but then they were pushed to the side for the friend sound system. And it was, yeah, in one of the archways, so it was quite a
What's the
intimate
capacity?
space. I think they sold 120, 130 tickets, and they were sold out.
Oh, okay, so it's a small...
It's small enough.
I'm so intrigued by like the fact the cats are there, they have different music days. I want to go.
Yeah, I did think poor cats' ears, like they need their earplugs, but I'm sure they can just leave if they're not enjoying it.
Yeah, that's so fun though. I feel like they definitely get lots of cuddles in the smoking area.
Yeah, I think the guy who owned it said, he actually made a joke, he said, I think this cat's seen more headliners than most people.
I love that.
Yeah.
I want to be that cat, honestly. That sounds ideal. I feel like, yeah, I'm kind of cheap. You know what I saw the other day quickly? Kind of different, but in terms of like housing and clubs, I saw that the warehouse in Leeds, yeah, it's a warehouse, they'd bought the, pretty sure it's like a, they'd bought the houses because they're getting noise complaints. They bought the 2 houses next to it. To stop the noise complaints so the club didn't get shut down, and now they
I've
rent
seen
it out
stuff
as an
like that.
Airbnb. I was like, okay, like we're now working around kind of, I guess, like flats being built into like club areas and how we can balance it. And
Isn't there a
think,
new law, like if you buy a property next to a venue that's established, you can't complain about it.
I don't know how it works, but I think basically if you move into an area with noise, then you basically don't, I've forgotten how it works, but you basically don't, I'm pretty sure, have like the rights to, like, as long as it doesn't exceed what's like a certain thing. And I think otherwise it works, but I think it's all changing all the time. I'm not really sure. Stuff's like, I don't know, I don't understand. But that's a question for someone else, because honestly I've been watching a lot with all the warehouses and stuff in like Astley as well. They have this whole thing about noise debate, and I'm like trying to learn about it. But there's like a whole lot going on. But I definitely think, obviously, we've got the 20% business cuts coming, which will be interesting to see. It's an interesting one. I think we'll see how that changes the scene. I think obviously there's like a lot more that needs to be done. It's definitely struggling. There definitely needs like to be balance in decisions, and like there definitely needs to be the support for nightlife and venues, because there's no third spaces,
grassroots
venues, yeah, for sure. And there's just like no, I think there's a lack of third spaces as well nowadays, and I think it's leading, especially for like young people as well. And there's nowhere for people to hang out. I saw something about people who are like teenage, like school kind of age, and like basically there's no third spaces. Third spaces you have to pay for. Even to go play football now, you have to pay for a lot of pitches. And then the kids also can't get jobs because older people are like having those jobs who have more experience, because the job market's so bad for people taking weekend jobs and stuff, which they might not necessarily otherwise like be in that specific job market. And then like kids are ending up in like trouble and ending up in kind of bad environments and like earning money for illicit ways because there's not enough support. And I think like because there's no third spaces, and I think it affects every generation differently, from the older generation right down to like the kids growing up and like parents who have like young kids. But we need it like just as much as we need clubs, all of this community.
I saw this thing online, and I think this woman put it in a really good way, because you know there's the social media ban, and that's obviously a space that kids have to take up because they don't have physical spaces to go to. And I hadn't really considered that, because at first I was thinking, oh, like maybe it's good, because I know social media can be very damaging, whatever your age. But to just take it away when that's what they're used to as a space, and you don't, there isn't, I don't know, youth clubs or anything like that.
Well, because I guess like we've done it in Australia, but also Australia's hot most of the year round, and they have a lot of beaches and parks.
Outside.
Like here, for a lot of the year, you can't be just sat outside. I'd say, when I was younger, like my third space was like fast food restaurants.
We used to take over Subway. I think we'd all buy like 1.99p.
Yeah, honestly, that was
and just
like
sit there all evening.
That was how you did it. But I feel like there needs to be like more community and space like that. Should we do your last song? Do you want to speak a bit about it before, as we're coming to?
Yeah, I will do. I actually don't know who I wanted to pick as my last one. We'll go for Case. So this is Destructive Case by Case, which love the name, and she's been doing stuff for a while, but I actually only found her more recently, and I actually think it was through the old Instagram algorithm. But she is Bristol based. This one's, I think, a very peak time, more of a heater. And I was listening to loads of her mixes when I was on my drive from home the other day, and yeah, I just love it, because a lot of stuff I was like recognised or resonated with, and I thought I've got that on my USB, which I feel like is always like maybe a little ego boost. Like I really like your stuff and you're mixing it well, and I also have this, but then also finding new stuff.
We could hang out.
Yeah, like we could be friends, we could mix together. No, she just seems, really cool. And I think she's having a new project coming. I just saw it online, and it's called Case Files. Don't know what that's going to entail, but I love when someone's got a
vision,
and then also just a good name that they can like play with.
Yeah, like storytelling.
We've used our first names.
Yeah, I honestly, if I could go back and change it, I would. And I say this all the time.
No, Asha loves yours. He refers to you as DJ Daisy JD.
Yeah, but
because it's like the mirror thing.
Yeah, but we will get confused. But yeah, no, honestly, I feel like I just I don't know. It's written it.
It's hard. It's like
it's
so.
Hard. I feel like when you first start, it's just like I don't know. It's just
as well. You feel like
I felt like sometimes, and then I was like, oh, and now it's just like here and it's stuck. But you know what?
We love Daisy JD.
Yeah, it's my initials, and it's also DJD in my initials, so it kind of works.
No, I like it. It works. It's like a mirror image.
Should we play this song?
Yeah.
Thank you so much to Nisha for coming on. I hope you enjoyed our chat. This is kind of normally what we just do inside Bath. But yeah, and where can people find you?
Instagram I mostly use, some stuff on Mixcloud. So Instagram is just my name, Anisha Restrick. And I'm playing in Sheffield for August Bank Holiday Sunday at Hagler's Corner.
So go catch you there.
So, yeah.
Okay, thank you everyone for tuning in, and I will see you next month.
Thanks for having me.